But to be honest, that might work in some teams' favor because like M&M play well in finals, and they haven't played well. I'm already talking about teams that aren't even in this game.
Not so much in the EUL so far, but looking towards the game at hand then. Outsiders versus Team Secret. Team Secret, as Fabian points out, likely to struggle today, in all honesty. It's not going to be an easy one for them, but they seem to play in the last Playday with sort of a pressure lifted. And if they can continue that, and as Kendrew said in his interview, just play for fun, just turn up and see what they get, that mentality is the sort of mentality that can make you dangerous, because at that point you've nothing really to lose if you already think you've lost it. So maybe there's another upset, maybe there's another surprise, maybe there's another secret in store from Team Secret, and the Outsiders are about to find out and uncover that unfortunate truth. But I've got to say I side with Fabian on this one, and I'm not too sure. I think Outsiders are going to have things nailed down pretty tight.
I mean, that's the split of it, right? Is the way that we've seen these two teams perform. Secret weren't performing with their full roster, and they were one of only 2 rosters to come into this new Siege competitive year without any changes. Them and BDS, they're the first to make a technical change. It's not the final change. It's a coach playing in the position where Titan is, but it's still a change. And it's one now that, you know, for all the times that we talk about rosters where they're playing with a coach, they're playing with a sub, they're playing with somebody, they're still scrimming with a player. They're still bringing someone else in. Okay, Secret, I don't know how long you were playing with Titan before, but you pulled a win before. Now you've had a week's worth of practice and sort of knuckling down. How are you going to bring it to a team that, by all accounts, they had their changes and they have been looking good?
The thing with playing and winning with a coach as well, we've got a long history of that in Siege, to be fair. But it only tends to happen once, maybe twice at a push. And then you start to get found out, is the reality. And that's sort of the point that we're expecting from Team Secret here. But hey, fingers crossed, let's hope that they can deliver another surprise for us and we can have a nice close affair here, whoever takes the points. It's going to be interesting along the way, I'm sure. We're going to be heading into round number 1. It's going to be down in Kitchen that Outsiders go to begin with. And I think, you know, maybe this speaks towards a little bit knowing that Secret don't have the regular lineup. Let's give them 2 floors to clear out. We'll stick some roamers up there. So let's see how the communication is. Let's see how the coordination is. And they seem to me like maybe already they're targeting those potential weak spots.
Yeah, it's entirely what they were talking about on the desk. Secret's strategy was take the space that we need and then play around that. Okay, Outsiders say we're going to take the site where you kind of have to take a lot of space to have any confidence. If you're going for verticality, you're still not in a position to plant, but you need that to sort of buy yourself the freedom. If you're going for bakery, you're not going to be able to swing yourself in without some control over the back of the corridor, which then leads into and it is this puzzle now for Secret to try and solve as their first go around what is the widest site and the biggest hold that can otherwise be put apart. The pitter-patter of those feet heading all the way to the top floor. Milan is one of the ones to watch in this, but that's the other thing about Outsiders is if it comes down to a frag match, they're pretty good.
Certainly are, and Milan and Rask being out on the roam, absolutely no surprise, and shock horror, look who it is. Milan gets himself an opening kill onto Titan, taking the man out who was going to be carrying and planting that diffuser. So, again, somebody's going to have to take up that mantle. It's going to be Keenan for the time being, but there's still Rask to deal with out on the roam, and this is going to be the problem for Team Secret, and it is pretty much exactly as expected from Outsiders. Milan's actually dropped himself back down to the bottom floor now, I think. I don't know if he's maybe rotated. No, he's still down there on the bottom floor. He's looking to challenge him Bar now. He's getting droned out, but he's just going to stand there and keep fighting with those little robots.
It's entirely it. He isn't massively under a huge amount of pressure because on this map to get to that position you need other positions, and he's decided to swing into one, tries to find another, but it's already netted. 2 for his troubles there. A huge take onto the big double window. Keenan, he is going to be a player that might be able to put some damage back in, but it's still not a one-man army, a one-man show, and a one-man game. And Pasha makes it even less on the side of Secret. Gomfi is caught out. Sleben is just on the opposite side here for Keenan. They are massively separated with Outsiders players in between them, and this is entirely the game that Outsiders want to play. You are not allowed to get comfortable. A first goes their way at the bottom of white, but with a minute left, still a lot more to do.
Important kill from Keenan, I think, there. The last thing that Team Secret wanted, on top of losing this round, was going to be it going flawless as well, because that really does put you back against the wall. Smash manages to find Keenan in what is a very late trade there. Sleben able to identify a man inside a court check. Puts the shots down, but doesn't get the kill. It's going to be FMX who took the damage, and they will just continue fighting here. They're waiting for Sleben to move on in, and I like this from Outsiders. the one concern, the one way they might lose this, as picked up by the analysts, would be getting overconfident, going for the jump outs, going for the peaks. They just need to stay professional. I've said it countless times. You can only beat the team that's in front of you. And if that team's playing with a coach, all the better for you. Don't get carried away. Don't play into it too much. Just wait for your moment. That's exactly what Outsiders are doing. As he pushes in, FMX finds the final one, and that's going to be 1-0.
It was always going to be a trickier one. This side, as we talked about at the very beginning, it is wide. It's not often the first pick for a lot of teams. If you're up against what is a good strategical team, if you're up against a team that loves to run by the numbers, it's one of the hardest sides to defend because it is almost step for step. You know what you need to take control to get the control next. It's a paint by numbers, whereas the other sides offer a little bit more back and forth aggression. Here, for Outsiders, for any team from that region of the world that loves playing on this map, they're so good at that game, and they're ready for a little bit of the competitive aggression. I mean, we've seen teams from that region absolutely dominate against some of the most aggressive teams in the world, like Cyclops, when they were playing against region-specific teams. They sort of handle it, and here, it's just, as you said, an important thing about keeping that cool, because Cafe doesn't bode fantastically against their team.
It doesn't. They're going to be going up onto the top floor. Team Secret, we saw them actually win this site on the attack in the last Playday, but again, it was maybe cheese play is sort of the wrong, it's probably the wrong phrase for it. What I mean by that, and the reason that I picked that word, it was a one and done.
Yeah.
You don't get away with it again. They just went over the skylight ledge, got the diffuser down right underneath it, and they just got away with it. The space was presented to them. Eminem, they really should never have allowed success with that sort of strat. Is Outsiders going to allow Titan to just hop over that rail and put it? I very much doubt it. I'd be extremely surprised. They're going to be well aware that that is a potential attempt for them. And so I don't think they have any joy with it. They're going to have to play this much more by the book, which is going to be going into piano, getting control, looking to breach walls, and that's where they're going to come into difficulty. And let's not forget, they've got Smash underneath as well to deal with Nitro in hand.
That's it, and as Pixel starts to be the point of focus, Smash knows it's a bit of a free run here again. The less experience you have warmed up with a team and with a sort of setup here and in the role of Titan playing this, the less likely you're going to be going for these wider clears. You're going to try and pick a singular point of focus and drive yourself towards it. And to be fair, at least this side offers that. The top of red is going to be that initial entrance. They can try and apply some pressure, but this could be dangerous. A man who's eyeing up the idea of a run out hits the door and goes for a little bit of a sneak, but they heard it and they were ready. And it's Keenan, who is more than able to swing around, peppered some pre-fire into the side of Milon. Just takes a tactical crouch to avoid the rest of them, but they assume he's fled. Spoiler alert, he hasn't.
Need to be careful here because with Milon still in prep like that, if they don't drone it out and make sure where he's gone, he's going to come back to that door and he's going to have another look. And the thing is, he may just keep trying. There you go. That's the drone that they needed. And as I said, they had to find that out. Keenan, he's ready. He's going to take the challenge. He probably wins this. Yes, he does. Nice and easy. Good opener for Keenan. 5v4 now. Team Secret with a good advantage.
That's it, drone, intel game, and they've sort of handed one there, but to be fair, that's the game Milon plays anyway. He's always looking for a bit of aggression and about, and it was worth the risk. The second time without that drone, it would have been a success. With the drone, well, we saw the result, but a minute left, and they still haven't really been able to get anywhere further than Cigar. As I said, it's going to be that first point of access. You get onto red, and then you try and angle yourself towards Pixel. There's the C4 underneath. There's still the pressure. There's still the presence. There's still a lot left to burn on that hefty corner point. Ras can pull back. FMX tried to find a fight, but with the skylight pressure, couldn't quite get the true angle. There goes the shield, and there goes another 20 seconds of time.
It's not badly played, really, from Outsiders at the minute. They're losing utility, but they are burning lots of those precious seconds, and Smash has not been dealt with underneath. He could come in absolutely critical here with a late plant denial, because with only 20 seconds left to go, there's only likely to be one opportunity for Secret here, but Smash is going to have to get it right. He gets his man on the kill. The plant is going down. If Titan secures this, it's probably round done, and despite shots going in the direction, Ras cannot stop him, and Smash is left all alone underneath 1v4, and this is not going to be easy. He's got about 28 seconds left to do something. Can he find his first? Yes, he can. Headshot onto Titan very nicely by the pillar, bringing it back to 1v3, but look at his health. He's down to about 10 HP at the most here, and an absolute tickle is going to take him down, and that's what Gonfield find at the top of white, and that is going to be round number 2 going to Team Secret, and, well, they're in it for something at least.
That's it. They were able to...
They lost that round pretty easily to Team Secret. Team Secret, 4v1 at the end there. Got the diffuser down as well. It was comprehensive. It's a site that they attacked pretty well last week, as discussed, or last Playday rather. And I just think, there's other opportunities for Outsiders. I think there's better locations. For me, give Reading a try. If it doesn't work out, you can always go back to Kitchen, which you just won very, very convincingly. But hey up, I'm sure after I've said all that, they'll probably come and win the round now.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Outsiders, but I'm just, for me, I'd have mixed it up.
So, a start here once again from Secret to see if they can try and control some of the Outsiders' play. But to be honest, suffering and flying too close to the sun and then Icarus having a bit of a timeout might be something that allows him to try and reconfigure the wings. And this one is laden with a C4 over the top, but dropped as soon as it hit the hatch. He couldn't quite get the finger on the detonator, and the sledge didn't bait it out. Moved away, and Kendrew survives for another day. Smash goes for a rotate. C4-less now at this point, but it sort of hints at this different pressure that they're trying to apply here.
Just a timing issue from Smash, essentially. He wanted to catch it just as the sledge was there, but as it was, to be honest, that was very specific timing. The fact that it sort of hit the underneath as the sledge hit it, so it dropped back down. But Rask, he's going to drop Sleben down as he manages to get himself an opener, and that's the Nomad as well, which could open up some opportunities depending how many of those air jabs were deployed before. We saw Milan, of course, trying to bring the aggression in the previous round. It doesn't look like Outsiders are going for those sorts of plays this time. They're just looking to hold their angles. They're playing this much more default, much more sensibly.
Well, Gomfi's in a position here to try and apply pressure to 90, 45 seconds earlier than he was before, and you can see this confidence, this pace is building up from Secret. They've still got the man on top of the skylight window, and they're still trying to eye up the pressure all around, but obviously they are now a body down. This time before, the sort of body count was reversed on the actual approach of the previous round. Trying to get some solidity and control here over the swing peaks that might be coming towards it to just get an idea and impression of who has eyes on what plant spot, and maybe they can try and formulate an idea from it. Smash still underneath can be a cause for concern later, but to be honest, last time they just kind of mad dashed past it.
I think part of the problem for Team Secret as it stands at the minute is a lack of map control. They've got themselves Cigar, they've got Keenan moving into white, one's dropped hatch, but they're not really in control of everything. They've got players on every side. Pasha finds Kendrew, 5v2, and it's not going to be easy. They're going to need a real hero play from somebody here. Keenan's going up white stairs, but again, they're aware of his presence. They shut him down. It's going to be Rask. This well could end flawless without a doubt. Top of red stairs, Titan goes down, and it will indeed be a flawless round for Outsiders.
See, you didn't think they should double down?
As I said before the round, you're welcome, Outsiders.
It was, you handed it to them. It was...
That was all me.
Well handled. It was well handled by Outsiders. They read what needed to be done, and they had an important time to sort of get a bit of a cool down. And I'm not going to say they had the most in-depth team talk. It's the second round. It's a sound bug, and you kind of can piece things together. But it's one of the things that Fabian sort of said that has stuck with me. It's crazy he has these little tidbits of knowledge. You never would have expected it.
I don't know where they come from.
I don't know where they come from.
I don't know where his insight comes from.
But it's the idea of those tactic timeouts or moments out is generally always works in the favor of the attackers, because it's so much easier to have a conversation in a 45-second window about what you can change on your approach rather than what you've spent much longer technically working on your defenses. That is a much harder thing to change in a narrow window. And here, we're probably going to have Secret on the reverse of that, where the things that they can change, you're not really going to have a win on any conversation, I don't think, outside of, all right, lads, let's cool it down a little bit.
Exactly that. Like you say, it's trying to change fundamentals rather than just trying to say, let's give this a whirl. Are very different things. We're going to have FMX looking to give a whirl to a spawn peek out of the window. Doesn't get picked up, but doesn't find any damage either. So no harm for no foul. No, it's always worth a little attempt, but you just need to make sure that you're not giving away that entry kill, because, of course, we've seen Secret get the entry kill once, and we've seen them win the round. So, again, that's going to be a factor for them. If they can get that man advantage, I'm not saying Titan needs taking out of the equation. No. He's played very well so far, particularly in that support role, getting the diffuser down. But once you've got that spare man, it sort of does take him out of the equation, whereas now he's doubly important, because without him stepping up and doing his job, without him finding a kill or so, they're effectively 3v5 almost.
Well, talking of, there it is. Sleben, for the second time, as that opening body dropped. And it was a run out there from Milan. Threw himself out of a top window and was able to get back in to the train room in the mining area without actually being fully contested. Sure, it might have given some seconds for Secret to remobilize, but again, those quick moments, those quick adaptations are going to be much tougher when the roster hasn't had anywhere near as long to get used to each other's calls, used to each other's activity, most importantly, used to each other's just mental space. Milan suffers with a scrappy firefight there over the top, and to be honest, the tandem is if Sleben goes somewhere, Gomfi's usually not long behind, and it's an engagement here.
Pasha's siege sensors already tingling once as he backed himself away from that barricade as the nade came in. Second one from Keenan, and once again, Pasha is nowhere to be seen nor found, so the nade is not going to do any damage whatsoever. Gomfi, again, Secret just look like they're stalling out a little bit here. You've got Titan, you've got Gomfi, they're the top of red stairs. They're just not really effective on that push forward. They're not able to claim much land ahead of them. It's taking them an age to really push through. We're at the 2-minute mark nearly. They haven't progressed across the top floor. They're looking to secure Cocktail. We've got a number of men on the side of Outsiders still there, still defiant, still holding on.
Well, as it goes a little bit quiet on our end, it's one where we're going to have to just sort of pay keen attention to the movements, and that is something that Secret are maybe doing too much. As you said, it's slow. They're trying to micro-step it. They're calling every part and every push, and that's something that comes with that time and practice, is getting more used to it. FMX finds Titan, takes care of the hard breach, the hard destruction, and that kick goes cold with Keenan going cold not long after. The spray and the pressure towards the shield as a body inside pillars of Kendrew, able to at least bite one back, but as the fight happens over the top of the staircase, Milan's able to win it out. There's Kendrew still doing his darndest round the backside. He's looking for the feet that are revealed, but the swing is over the top. Outsiders, their third round, and they now have Kitchen back open.
Bit of a problem for Team Secret here, not just in losing that round. The score overall, 3-1. It's starting to look more and more convincing each round for Outsiders. They really do have a handle on what's going on. They're picking up those entry kills. They're making Team Secret's life doubly difficult. And like you said, they've now got Kitchen to go back to where they were absolutely solid. You know, they're looking now at having a full defensive sweep. I can see them winning Kitchen. I can see them winning Bar again up on the top floor. And all of a sudden, you're 5-1 down. And for Team Secret coming onto the defensive cafe 5-1 down, it's not going to be a pretty thing.
Well, it's a pretty thing for only really a couple of fan bases out there. Outsiders, obviously, they're seeing their roster do better, and as you can see in the top right, it's going pretty well. Currently sitting on first, but obviously every other result is pending tonight if this continues to go into a win, but it would be the third next to their name with only one full-time loss they've gone against. Secret, they're sitting in 8th. Below them, they have Pons, who are playing immediately after this versus Na'Vi, which is going to be a bit of a back and forth one, and M&M have the challenge of BDS.
Do you know who's casting that one?
Let me just check. Oh, it's us.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's us.
Excellent news. Excellent news.
Written in this massive notebook that I have.
I like how there was some comedic effect. What you don't see at home is the lengths that Em will go to make you chuckle. She was bent right down there into a notebook, so the mic was right in front of it.
Yeah, you know, Foley got a production value for the EMEA team, and well, the value that we're getting right now is, I guess, tough lessons here for Secret. Outsiders, even before they're up against Secret, they have been a very good roster this split so far.
They have, to be honest. I've been impressed with them. You know, they've had some solid performances. It's not gone all their way, but that is true of anybody inside of EUL at the minute. Milan going out of that window again. He just wants to get it. Keenan, it is always Keenan stopping those runouts. Manages to get a second as well with Rask, and Outsiders are just potentially falling into that trap. They're getting carried away. They don't need to be throwing themselves at Team Secret like this.
FMX wanted to do a third one there as well. He'd got himself prepped, and this is exactly it. This is the site that they won before. And weirdly, now's the moment to sort of say, okay, well, if you can push back and try and take some ground by surprise, it'd be a good moment to. But this is also where players like Keenan, obviously, and Kendrew especially work really well. These little bouts of aggression are the moments where they can sort of try and drive the face and the front towards themselves and then put the pressure back on. The grenade going all the way over the top, and the pre-fire hoping for the swing round doesn't quite get the full connection. They have a lot of time left, and they can try and restructure it. It's precious time to talk, but the most important thing is to try and push these trades.
Keenan just looking to extend the lead, but it's actually going to be Sleben and Gomfe, the dream team, that double down and find themselves 2 and another for Gomfe. And how about that? They suffered a flawless round at the hands of Outsiders back in round 3. Answer back in round 5 with one of their own. Team Secret, again, managing to cling onto the coattails of the team that they play in and just not letting them get away from them. It was exactly the same with M&M. It was close throughout, and this time it's Outsiders that are suffering.
Somewhere, well, I know where, in his hotel room, Hap is watching and going, entry. Because he can't talk right now. He's lost his voice. That's why he's not here. He's going, entry statistic. Because every single time Outsiders have handed it to Secret, Secret have built behind it. And that's the thing about Secret right now, is they're having these conversations to try and pinch. You can see it visibly in their cameras. You can see how they're talking through every next step. You gotta, when you put a coach into this position, to make sure you're always on top of it. If Outsiders are handing them one big bit of information, one big hurdle, they're a team that can work on that, and they're a team that can pull that together 2 for 2 in terms of that. And as you said, the worry there is Outsiders. It's like, stay in the building, lads.
This is it. It's not Team Secret necessarily coming and winning these rounds.
Yeah.
Outsiders are giving them the ones that they're winning. It's, you know, both rounds that have been lost, not only have Outsiders lost the entry kill, they've lost it on trying to run out. Like the first one, yep, give it a roll of the dice, no problem. But you got to learn quicker than that. You got to say, right, again, this is where professionalism kicks in. I'm not saying that Outsiders are unprofessional because they're running out. That's not the case. But what I'm saying is, you've got to be able to switch off that element that says they're playing with a coach, go and get them.
Yeah.
You've got to be able to switch that off and say, right, no, we're playing our game. Make them play into it. Make them players at 100%. Don't give them those opportunities.
It's also been on the back of 2 Keenan double kills to open the round up there. And to be fair, the second one was a lot more immediate than the first, but he is a player that can heat up, as we said before, and he is always that danger player, that one that can really put a bit of pace behind Secret's approach. They're setting themselves up once again for a similar take here, and last time Kendry went for a bit of a drop dive into the skylight after they'd already lost a couple of bodies. They're being a bit more cautious this time, but so are the opponents. You can see they're trying to weigh up the pressure once again onto Rask, who's just buried.
Just holding on to Pixel for the time being. He's got his shield, he's got his ADSs, he's got everything that he's going to need to keep him in there, but the utility continues to rein in. That's going to be the Flash, replaces the currently burnt out ADS with a Wamai Magnet, but it's going to be too close to that shield. The shield will still be... No, it won't. That was... an interesting little interaction there. So what you've just seen, the Wamai Magnet goes out. This time, nope, shield's still in place. I cannot believe how much utility. Give me a second, Secret. Stop throwing utility. There we go. They've got it. Give me a second. Stop throwing utility at it. So the first one that was interesting gets caught by the Wamai Magnet, but before it can detonate, the ADS comes back online and zaps it. So that was an interesting one. FMX gets taken down as the opener. Will this continue, Em? That's the question. Whenever Secret have had the opening kill, they've managed to go on and get the round. Gomfi gets it, and that could be a little signal.
So 3-2-2 now, and they're trying to get themselves the even spread before they have to try and hold back on their defenses. Pasha slightly damaged on the back line, and Smash on the floor below. Will Keenan have an awareness on this? That's the important part. He's watching towards the door, but he's not watching towards the door inside the door, and Smash isn't going to risk it anyway. He has an idea that there's a player outside there, and it's that lesson that they've sort of been taught over the 2 rounds that they've lost, that you cannot just throw yourself at Secret players. Regardless of the fact they're playing with a coach, they can still gun, and they kind of love it. Keenan going for the creep up the white stairs, just catches the edge there of Smash, suffers a little bit, but as the thinker, they can pick themselves up, and they pick up another body. There's another double, and usually when he gets one of those, they win the round. Can he go for a third? It connects, but it's traded back off, and now it's a technical nobody versus Secret. They get themselves a 3rd round. A bit of a sigh of relief.
Keenan is just too good.
He's pretty good.
Keenan's too good. Keenan's the answer of how do you win with your coach. You bring Keenan to get all your coach's kills. That's what you do. And then Titan doesn't need to worry about that. He can just go in and put the diffuser down. He can be on drones. He's just droning Keenan in.
Technically, it's the coach/player. Does Titan get credit for that as the strategist
Absolutely.
of
honestly,
Keenan go kill?
Keenan is just Titan's gun at the minute. He's just droning him in, and he's like, yeah, there's one there, kill, kill, kill. And Keenan is keeping them in it. He's having a great game so far. And Team Secret surprising us once again, coming out at the halfway mark, 3-3. And anybody who has to play Secret for the rest of the stage has got to be looking at this and saying, we are not going to caff it.
It's a Finker running a spear as well. Everybody at home. Tweet about that.
Tweet what you want.
No, I am not opening that can of worms. The patch note get no. I'm staying away from that, and Secret, for now, they're staying away from the top floor in terms of it being the place to plant the diffuser. They're instead going to set themselves up around the middle of the map. Some would have called this a gambit pick if we saw it before attacker repick came through, because you can't really gambit pick attacker repick. You can fully change an attacker lineup. So if they are going to play what is historically a fourth site, an off site, with the hope of throwing off the attacker lineup, doesn't happen anymore. So this is where they want to try and drive themselves.
Pasha heading for the rappel, going to be going up to the top floor. I imagine we'll see outsiders clearing out from above. They've got a little bit of vertical destruction in the shape of Milan. He's going to want to get in and swing that hammer and make it difficult. There's a lot of verticality can be gained directly into sight here, much like Reading Room as well. You get yourself controlling piano. That's going to be good. We see the bulletproof camera just going to work on the drone. Sleben, he's there. He's itching to go and get that drone. It's been signalled out for him. It's been temporarily disabled, but he's not going to do it because he knows that they are waiting, ready. Jaws open to bite down if he moves out from that pixel spot. Hanging on the rappel, just waiting for the opportunity.
Well, you can see outsiders, they're getting ready to roll about a dozen drones by the count, but I'm not very good at maths. They're very good at just getting themselves in here onto the top corner of red. They're looking to try and push and funnel those Secret players further and further back. You've got to get that vertical control, and you can see FMX is going for the bit of the rotation, where they try and get a catch here on the white windows. They have the Zephyr also holding the angle, so they're not going to suffer from that Christmas door. There's a worry and a bit of concern there. Takes care of the alibi, but there's not quite a follow-up there from the players.
Titan going to use that nitro, but not going to really gain anything from it. Not going to find his man, and that just leaves Secret scrambling across that middle floor a little bit as outsiders have got themselves top floor control. They can now hold their flanks and just make sure that nobody makes their way up those staircases. The top floor reasonably easy to hold onto for the attackers here on Cafe, because there's only two ways up and down, so drones or guns can do the same job and prevent those defenders from moving back. We're down into the final minute though, and outsiders are yet to find an opening kill onto Team Secret. They've got themselves largely bunkered down inside a site, and they're going to try to hold on to this. 45 seconds left to go. Milan just sort of wrecking havoc above them, looking to find anybody. Gets a nice freebie onto Titan inside of the train there. 5v4, and that needs to be the catalyst for outsiders now.
30 seconds, the burn comes through, but there's still a couple of players hiding in these tight angles, and Keenan, he's ready to go for a big one, but it's Kendrew on the top floor, sneaks past an inactive drone, pulls a massive double kill, and then sneaks past the window that's supposed to cover. FMX lost a bit, blind spraying into a smoke when nobody is home. Smash is close, but the kit sure isn't, and it's going to turn into a hefty drive. FMX and Kendrew find one apiece, but the kit still... and now probably won't find its home inside the site. It's left there, but with the only chance to just look down and hold F, you still got to take that out your foot first.
Team Secret are on the up here, managing to get themselves in the lead. It's not something that they've actually done so far today. It's almost always catastrophic, and Kendrew bringing his experience to bear there, getting the job done, and seeing Team Secret now move on to Kitchen in round number 8. We're going to have a bakery hold, I would imagine. We've got the rotation through into the space behind counter, rotation into small bakery. We've got the castle barricade up, the reinforcement, and it looks like they're going to be trying to hold on to that west side of the map. The interesting question could be if outsiders ignore all that, waste that utility and push themselves in towards white stairs. How will Team Secret handle it? But for the time being, it looks like immediate attention will be towards the bakery side.
Now, obviously, we've been framing this story as one where we expected Outsiders to take it. And to be honest, there is always still that possibility, but Secret are definitely playing better than I think a lot of us thought they would, and that's because of the knowledge that they've been able to put together onto Cafe with the recent changes, with the fact that they can double down. Usually, if a team doubles down, it does not go well. But in fairness, that's how Outsiders got their first win against Na'Vi. They lost Chalet 5-7 and then came back the next Playday to win it. Team Secret won their last performance on Cafe, but M&M weren't quite there. Here, Secret, they're definitely showing that they are Keenan. Once again, getting that opener, Pasha goes down.
Another fantastic start for Team Secret, and they've shown what they can do with those entry kills. Last time they were even able to overturn that deficit after Milan got the opener, but this time 5-4 on the defence. Outsiders, for me, there could be a little bit of panic in the camp here because this is potentially 5-3. They're now a man down, and Team Secret are on the defence, and they're not really getting close to breaking them open. So if you're sat in one of the Outsiders' chairs, you're sort of looking at this thinking, we really need this round.
It's strange because we've seen how Outsiders have played. We saw how they set themselves up to go in their fights against teams like G2 on the previous Playday, where they won, and they put a huge amount of pressure. They were always aggressing. They were always moving against a team that, to be fair, a lot of people were terrified up to that point, unbeaten and kind of very much unbeaten. They were in a driving force and control, and Outsiders took that pace and changed it. And here, it's the reverse story. Secret, sure, there was a couple of slow moments in the early couple of rounds. At least FMX is able to bring a balance back in here as they try and stretch their pressure, but they haven't really had that pace control.
No, that's exactly it. They need to really come in and start dictating things a little bit here. Stop Team Secret from playing their own game. Sleben's inside of VIP, just trying to hold on. He's going to be in an important position. The Toxic Babe canisters have been used to just prevent the push coming through too aggressively, but of course that does leave them a little bit light in that utility for the late push, which is likely to come. Sleben only having one Toxic Babe canister left in pocket, but they haven't been able to deal with his shield here, Outsiders, and that is a major problem because they're just unable to challenge onto him, and with 25 seconds left to go, they've got no option but to just try and drive straight forward. Ras gets down, but will be able to pick himself back up with the nanobots. 15 seconds left to go. Smash finds one, Smash finds two, and this could be smashed wide open as this shutdown comes in. Important trade from Keenan, and the rush comes around 2v2. It's Kendrew on a tight angle again. This is going to be 1v1, and no option but for FMX to stick this diffuser plant. But can Keenan get there in time? I think he might just beat him to the punch. He does, and Keenan secures the round for Secret once again. It was a Keenan-Kendrew double, really, as they closed out that round.
I mean, this game has been the Keenan and the Kendrew handshake. And to be fair, Keenan opened that round and ended it. The 1 versus 1. He played himself off to the other side. He's keeping his cool. And I guess that's always the benefit. When you are the underdogs in a match, if things go your way on a map like Cafe, where it's almost alert, it's a siren map, Cafe. Every window is like, come on, you just jump out. Just stick your head out. You'll be able to find something. Come on, it's Cafe. Come on, have a good time. Especially for a UK team.
Yep.
Or a primarily UK team. Here they won't have that because they know that Outsiders are a great aggressing team, and they know that they can try and slow them down. It was an early pick, sure, through a breach, I believe, that was already opened up. But still, they didn't try and then double down on it the way we saw Outsiders doing it before.
Absolutely not. It's going to be the top floor at this time around for Team Secret. We haven't seen them defend it yet. This could be the big question mark. It's their third choice site. It's always a little bit of a struggle for the defenders. We quite often see the attackers win. It's probably 50-50 win rate at absolute best, potentially worse for the defenders. And so Team Secret, this for me is the big test. Get this one done. Get yourself onto map point, and I honestly see them taking 3 points again and surprising us all.
A little bit premature there. They tried to go for a play to see if they could get that C4 out the window and go for a catch, but nobody was charging themselves at the building. Outsiders are cautious, and usually it's kind of slowed them down there, but at least that time round it offered them some control and safety here, and, well, that's a C4 off the board, but there's still 5 players and a lot left to do, and between 2 of them, they have 16 kills, Keenan and Kendrew, so they are kind of the mountain you have to try and surmount at the minute.
They certainly are, and that's after the rehost as well. There might be a couple to add on to that as well, because our counters did get reset. But as you said, they're just absolutely dominating things at the minute. And in any round where those two have a sizable contribution, it's almost certainly a Team Secret win. And Outsiders just don't really have the answer to what's going on at the minute. They're not getting themselves inside the map. They're not really getting necessarily as much control as they'd like. Like I say, last time around, 25 seconds to go, we still had a shield in VIP. They hadn't been able to clear it out, despite having gone 6, despite having nades on side. This time, dealing with utility a little better. Still yet to open the castle barricade into double. They've missed the shield there, so the shield stays standing. And there's a world where Team Secret are looking pretty good here.
I don't know if that was just perfect timing or the gate was reactivated, but there was a moment where Kendry slipped past that and it deactivated the gate, and they were able to get X-Kairos onto it, potentially at that moment. Either way, one of two evils, if your Outsiders, is gone. Keenan off the board. And now they're going to see if they can try and keep applying a little bit more of this flat pressure. They have that entry. They have that early body. And they're suffering a little bit more. Gomfi and Sleben, they're locked in on that vault, that core of the floor. And there's also just a corner waiting with a shotgun. The pings are there, a bit of a pre-fire, and he can't quite get out of there. The second is gone. And now it's down for the rest of the Secret roster to see if they can try and step into the space left.
We knew that this was going to be the difficult site for Team Secret. Heading up to the top floor was never going to be easy. Milon manages to force Titan out of position with a nade, and that's going to find him taken down by Rask. FMX closes out the round for us, and that one all looked a little bit easier for Outsiders. The question is, can they continue that momentum now when they go back to sites that they've already struggled on? Secret able to write that one off for me. In my mind, they look at that and think, yep, third choice site, top floor, it's always a difficult one, no problem. On we go. They're going to be heading back to the mid site. It's going to be Fireplace and Mining, which is the one that they won back in round 7. I think they're going to carry some confidence into this one, but for me, I think if Team Secret are going to win this, they need to do it in the next couple of rounds. If they allow Outsiders back to 5-5, it's going to be difficult from there.
You may remember, once upon a time I was talking about the performance of these two teams and how that's gone through the league and what a result would do for Outsiders, who are 2 wins. They're sitting on 6 points. They're one of about 5 teams that are sitting on 6 points. You may notice now that if Secret are the ones that pull the full 3 points here, they actually would jump, although they're currently in 8th place. This is how close everything is at the minute. They would go up to 1st for now.
Oh, imagine.
Obviously, there's other games that are still on hand, but they were able to obviously get a couple of points the other day from an OT loss, or a single point in the opening day, and then they got 3 points from the game against M&M. So even though they're in 8th place of 10, they're sitting on 4 points. 1st place currently sitting on 6 points.
Rask taking a little pot shot, making sure that he's not going to get peeked out there. Outsiders, like I say, it feels like that last round particularly, they really switched on. I'm not saying that they haven't been so far, but it's sort of like they just had that minute and said, right, come on now, this one is getting away from us a little bit, and there's no reason why it should do. And it just seemed to level things out a little bit for them. Milon, he's going to open up that top hatch. They're going to be going for the top floor once again. They've got men on the rappel. They're looking to get themselves established inside of Piano. We saw them have a little bit of joy with the vertical last time when they were attacking onto this site, and it all came down to that big Kendrew flank essentially to shut down the attack into Piano from red. So if they can just be a little bit more cautious over the basics like that, then, you know, maybe the outcome is a little bit different.
Well, here they still have all of their rotations, and they have glued down their W keys. Secret are making sure they keep moving. And I talked about this before and how I really liked it, because it means Outsiders are never comfortable. They're a team that likes to set up and be confident when they go for the pressure. They don't just sort of try and get the kit down like we see from other teams. Like, for some, it is that last resort. Let's just throw a Hail Mary. For Outsiders, it's always calculated. And sometimes the calculations are late and you don't get the kit down and you lose the round. And that's that game, that gambit the Secret are playing themselves against here. Smash. He's trying to do his best, going for the steady clear. He's creeping his way in, but nobody's currently home in the bathroom again. Secret, though once were there, they've long since finished their business, flushed and left.
Rask heading into Piano then. Map control gained for Outsiders. They can start working at the verticality if they wish, but they need to be conscious of the time. 1 minute 10 left to go. No kills on the board as of yet, and they just need to play with a little bit more confidence. It's as if they're not really sure here. The drone's obviously not doing the business there, not telling them that there isn't anybody inside a cocktail, and it's just delaying them. It's slowing down that progress that they're making across the top floor, and it's just preventing them from getting in there and getting those angles opened up. 50 seconds left to go. They're opening the reading door. There's still a lot of prep work going on. They need to start getting onto site.
Wow, what can they do with Oster? The big pickup here is the potential to change their face. The hatch that they went as the smoke dropped before and suffered on the back of it. They're not quite able to get it just yet. 30 seconds, it finally gets popped open and they see a player, tail between legs, shuffle into the train. They're going to have to try and get rid of them, but a well-placed grenade or two would easily take care of that problem, and there's the first. It's trying to force the player out. The second is trying to force the player out, and the third is a gun. Milon catches Titan, 10 seconds, and it's going to have to come now. The push and the smoke goes down, and we can hear a couple being popped, and they're going to try and filter their way towards the site itself. Pasha locks the door on Gomfi, and they're just going to make sure they pull out that needle in their leg before they can go for the plant spot. Rask and Keenan one apiece, but downed. The planter was shot from the double door. You'll just see the swing round in the breach. That hole there. On the other side of the mining, the man tucked in on the far end of pillars had the angle. I believe that's the angle that was used.
There's going to be a number of moments in this game that outsiders are going to look back on, kick themselves, question Rue when this comes to pass, if Team Secret are able to get themselves especially a full 3-point win here. But we said at the beginning of the game it was about playing with fun. It was about the release of pressure for Team Secret. Look at the cams at the minute. Titan, Kendrew, both laughing, both talking, energetic within the team. And it is obviously driving them on. Team Secret playing fantastically well at the minute and not letting outsiders breathe in this one. We could well have Team Secret with Titan as the coach playing in the roster at the top of the table.
Fresh, overjoyed at the chance of his Bezzy mate playing Ranky together all the time, as he puts it, being a two-time.
That's it. He's got
100%.
He's got
win rate as a
100%
player.
win rate, top of the EUL table in the rank stack.
They will be top. Based on the maths, they'll be on 7 points. Current second place, 6. Don't mind me, audience at home. Fresh is astounded. But obviously, there's still a lot of games left. So chances are, even if they pull it off and get themselves to the top, they will be leapfrogged based on just the other games taking place. But outsiders, 2 rounds that you've got to try and bite your way back in. And this was one of the important ones, and probably the most important one to take, because this is the one that you lost. And it came down to a 1 versus 1 wire fight. And to be honest, the previous round probably should have been yours as well. It was a 4 versus 2, getting the plant down and a little bit late. And that is that delay that I've kept on harping on about.
Nade going to go in there towards the, I was going to say VIP shield potentially to clear it out, but it didn't go anywhere. No. It stayed right on that garage door, and that could be a big problem here. We saw last time how they were unable to clear that shield. It's still in position, and if it remains there, it could be a big problem. They didn't clear it. Sleben was able to hold them up until the very last 20 seconds, and then it all came down to just a wild push at the end. Outsiders almost were able to muscle their way through, but almost is a big word when you are 6-4 down and looking at losing Cafe to Team Secret. So there's a lot of work for outsiders to do now.
Well, you can see they're trying to get themselves the control over the top floor. The last time, it was a huge push, all of it to the bottom of white. This time, they learn a lesson. Let's not try and double down on that. Instead, the pace that we can apply above, let's double it up. Bring the buck, they can work with the sledge, and we can try and potentially pull some of the players out sooner rather than later. Titan, oh no, he can't hear us. He's got his earphones in. He's on a camera, and he suffers a lot of a grenade, but Pasha takes care of Milon. Skeleton keyed the man through, and then hit the floor on the other side. But that is a tragedy paramount and testament to the game they've had. Rask finds Titan inside coat on the far side and finishes the job done before, but with Kendrew playing close on here and with no approach and that shield still standing, that's a minute now for outsiders.
That team kill could be one of those seriously unfortunate moments that costs you dearly by the end of this. 50 seconds left to go now, and outsiders, for me, they just look a little bit lost them. They're just sort of all over the place. They're just about to get the freezer hatch open, but don't really have too much control. They're trying to open up those vertical angles, but It just seems like they're a little bit lost at sea here and not really sure which side to push on, where to prod, because the diffuser down, it looks like they're going to move towards Bakery. They haven't really done any prep work onto softening that area of the map up. There's utility still in place. There's Keenan on the Malusi there. I really don't know where they go from here.
Well, there's a catch on a drone, and there's just a hope and a swing, but it's Kendry popping up. It's a 4 versus 1, but it doesn't last very long, and look at Titan go! You have to give it to the secret roster. Before their showdown on Cafe, where they pulled their first win, we said M&M were underperforming, fine. And to be fair, on our expectations, Outsiders were as well, but this